The idea of travelling and adventuring, getting on the road with your friends and exploring cool places has always appealed to me. But travelling as an autistic person always comes with some level of, I just want to be at home. This isn't my safe place. What food am I going to be able to eat? What if I don't feel well? What if there are too many people and I have a panic attack? Am I going to be able to do this activity with the others, or will it be too loud? What if I ruin this trip for the others? So, how do we get around this? As autistic people, how do we find a way to let go of those thoughts and just enjoy being away and be in the moment? Well, you can't. It's just the way your brain is wired, and the little voices in your head are always going to be backseat driving. But what I do try and do is plan for as much as possible to minimise any stress that I might encounter. I make lists of all the possible things that I will need for any given situation. I make lists of the things I need to make lists about, and then I put them into subcategories. I pack clothes for every season. I pack emergency safe food and secret emergency safe food. The emergency safe food is for everyone to eat should a situation arise where we need it. The secret emergency safe food is for when the emergency safe food is run out, and I will still have some in reserve that no one else knows about. You get the point. I plan for every possible scenario so that when I'm away, I know that should any situation arise that I wasn't expecting, I've already planned for that and will have all of the things that I need to deal with that situation, and therefore minimise any panic. I would just like to add that it's not that I want to deny my friends any food, it's just that I need to have backups of my backups for my own peace of mind. Unfortunately, there just isn't any way to be able to know for sure what is or isn't going to happen, which for a neurotypical person might be part of the fun. And while I like to think that I'm spontaneous and go with the flow, I'm a chronic organizer and advocate of controlled fun. It's always been a bit of a running joke in my friend group that I'm a bit like Monica from Friends. So when a situation like this arises, and if you know me, you know that I break down on average once every 4 days, so therefore I'm generally pretty accustomed to it and somewhat prepared. You can imagine my horror as I discovered that I had not prepared for it this time. We could do a song.
Get me out of here.
We got on the road at 12:30, and I knew that perhaps I shouldn't have brought the Beamer. So we were on the road for 2 hours. Perfect temperature, everything fine, perfect. Then we had to sit in traffic for a bit, and the gauge crept up a bit, which I was kind of expecting. It's an old car. And then it shot to the red, and then smoke started coming out from under the bonnet, and I was like, oh, okay, better stop. So we stopped, and that was about 2.5 hours ago. Do we do it on Cafe 3?
I don't know.
Start singing and see.
A little louder. Terribly already. The space between your eyelids as we step for awkward sentences and voice.
The urgency for getting to where we're going is that we have to cross a causeway to the island we're staying on, and we can only cross at certain times, and we've now missed today's window, so we're going to have to wait until the early hours of the morning. I think it starts again, I think the tide goes out again at 12:30, so we can cross from 12:30 until sometime in the morning, but we've missed today's. We can't get there before 9, which is when the tide comes in, so... So we got home 10 minutes ago. My poor dad had to come out and drive 100 miles to rescue us, and I managed to leave my car at a pub. So back home, gonna have something to eat, swap all the gear over to the Freelander, and be on the road again. So we should get there early hours of the morning. We were off. Again. We drove through the night, stopping at services to nap for an hour close to dawn. Getting on the road again at around 6 AM with 140 miles to go and only 3 hours to make our crossing. But we made it with half an hour to spare. It doesn't look like it, but the tide comes in so fast and covers the entire road. I did not come over 300 miles just to watch my car sink. After a quick look around, I pretty much slept on the first day. Obviously, after I tested every single bedroom and looked out of every single window to find my room, this is a delicate process and looks a little like when Sheldon has to find somewhere to sit in a new place.
Hello.
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 Have some food?
No.
I did manage a small walk to the shore in the afternoon, but I felt so unwell from the drive that I had to keep stopping and catching my breath because I was so nauseous. By the second day, I think it all just caught up with me. This is about the 4th or 5th time I've cried today. It's not even 12 o'clock yet. I don't know if anyone else finds this, but when I'm tired or overwhelmed or anxious, it's very easy for me to cry. I cry at most things, like even really tiny, silly little things, and I think And that's just down to the processing aspects of autism. I've been like this my entire life, and it's always been a running joke that amongst my friends that when I start getting tired, it's more than likely that I'm gonna cry. And they're not wrong, I do. I'll get tired and it'll start like I'll laugh, and then I'll just full on burst into floods of tears. And I've been doing that fairly consistently all morning. So yeah, this is the first official day of the trip after a 2-day nightmare trying to get here with the cars and stuff. So I think all of that, like I'm now just processing all of that today. I spent the last 2 days very nauseous and anxious and overwhelmed, and physically I feel better today, but I expect that today I'm just going to be processing stuff in the background. So I'm probably going to cry a lot today. So it's just a fun little aspect of autism, I think. I'm sure lots of other people feel the same as I do and do the exact same things. I've always wondered why I cry so much, but actually it makes sense. So yeah. For a neurotypical person, breaking down, things not going as planned, being tired, might all be part and parcel of being on holiday or going on a road trip. But I think for autistic people, there are so many hidden challenges that we face and so much going on in the background that other people just don't realise. Yes, you're going on holiday to have a nice time, hang out with friends and family, forget about work and home life for a while. But for autistic people, it's still a massive shift in routine. It's a huge change to process, and generally we don't do change. We like to stick to the same routines. Not so good at the whole processing thing. And that's something that people can struggle to understand. But you're on holiday, having a nice time? But the thing is change, whether it's good or bad, it's still something to process, which can be exhausting and anxiety-inducing. Having to get into a new routine. Which room is mine? Where is my spot at the dining table going to be? Which plate do I want to use if you didn't already bring your own? Should I get ready for bed first or last? What time should I set my alarms for? So, although you're there to have a good time, hanging out with your friends, making memories, and it's not like it's a conscious thing, like, yes, I need to process this thing. It just sort of happens. This is our 5th day here. and the last kind of day or two have been okay, but today, for some reason, I just am not with it at all. Like I'm struggling to focus on anything. I feel like I'm me, but I'm not me. It's really it's hard to explain. I don't often experience things like this, and I'm thinking maybe it's just having done such a lot in such a short space of time. I'm just trying to catch up now, and today there's just a lot of background processing going on, and my exterior is just like completely shut down. I can't focus on anything. I'm finding it very easy to zone out. I don't want to, I'm not trying to. It's like I'll sit down for a second and I'm just gone. I'm struggling to talk to the camera right now because I just can't focus. I'm tired, but I'm not tired. I slept really well last night. So yeah, it's a very strange feeling being here but not being here. We're heading back out in a few minutes because we've got to catch the tide. Well, catch the causeway before the tide covers it. So hopefully the cloud lifts at some point today, and I've become present again. So yeah, we'll see. The cloud did lift, and once you've started to settle and process, it does become much easier to relax and focus on the now. That's not to say there aren't still moments, like I was nauseous on most of these days. But once you're able to settle into the routine and you're around safe people, you're able to start experiencing and seeing, which might seem really trivial to some. It's a holiday. But these changes and the environments and anxieties are a big part of normal life for autistic people. It's very easy to be held back by these thoughts, and it's so easy to lock yourself inside in your safe place because that's what it is, it's safe. But once you start to understand and accept that you just need a little extra processing time than others, those big things that you want to do but have told yourself that you can't suddenly become a lot easier to approach. It's understanding that you need to do things differently, and that's completely fine. If you're going on a trip with someone who's autistic, just please bear in mind that they need a little extra time than you to be able to adjust and cope with their new surroundings before they can actually take in their new surroundings in a positive way. If I was to take anything from this trip, it's don't let these thoughts and feelings deter you from experiencing. Hey!
Oh, look at the sunset.
I fucking know, and that should be on there as well.
Oh, cool.
Are we doing another song?
Yeah.